Imagine being told that bugs are the future of food. Advocates for this movement point to cultures in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, where insects have been consumed for centuries, suggesting the Western world should follow their lead. But here's the catch. This interpretation of global food traditions often misses the mark. While bug eating is part of the diet in some regions, it's rarely the ideal or preferred choice. So, why is the West so eager to adopt insects as the next big thing in sustainable food? Let's unpack how Western bug advocates are misinterpreting global food traditions, and why eating bugs in one part of the world doesn't necessarily make them a universal solution. In many parts of the world, bugs are eaten as a source of protein, but the context behind these practices is essential. Insects like crickets, grasshoppers, and termites are often consumed out of necessity, not preference. Bugs are abundant, easy to catch, and provide quick nutrition in places where traditional protein sources like meat or fish are less accessible. For example, in parts of Africa, locusts are eaten during swarm seasons as a way to combat crop destruction, while taking advantage of an available food source. Similarly, in rural Mexico, chapulines or grasshoppers are sold as seasonal delicacies. However, they are far from a dietary staple, as daily meals typically revolve around meat, beans, and corn. By ignoring this necessity-driven context, Western advocates mistakenly promote insect consumption as an ideal or enlightened practice, when in reality it's often a fallback option. One of the biggest misconceptions about bug consumption is the idea that insects are staple foods in cultures that eat them. In reality, bugs are typically supplemental, filling gaps in diets but not replacing the primary foods like rice, vegetables, or meat. Take Thailand, for example, a country often held up as a model for bug eating. In rural areas, crickets and bamboo worms are sold in markets, but they are often viewed as snacks or side dishes, not main courses. The average Thai diet is built around staples like rice, fish, pork, and vegetables, with bugs serving as occasional treats or novelties. By elevating insects to the status of mainstream food sources, the Western bug movement ignores the reality that in many cultures, bugs are not daily essentials, but seasonal or occasional additions to the diet. While insects are praised for their high protein content, they fall short when it comes to providing a complete nutritional profile. Many of the cultures that consume insects rely on other nutrient-dense foods to meet their dietary needs. Bugs are low in fats and fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and E, which are crucial for maintaining overall health. These nutrients are found in far greater amounts in foods like meat, eggs, and dairy. Additionally, traditional food sources like fish, poultry, and beans provide a more balanced array of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals that bugs simply cannot match. In regions where bugs are consumed, they are often seen as temporary sources of protein during scarcity, not as long-term solutions. Western advocates who tout bugs as superfoods overlook the critical importance of balanced diets and the role other foods play in supporting human health. There's a tendency in the West to romanticize food practices from other cultures, especially when they seem exotic or different. Bug eating has become one of those practices that Western advocates hold up as a sustainable, forward-thinking way of feeding the world. However, this perspective often misrepresents the realities of food systems in these regions. In many cultures where insects are eaten, people prefer conventional proteins like chicken, beef, or fish, foods that are often less accessible due to economic or environmental constraints. The idea that these cultures are somehow ahead of the West because they eat bugs ignores the fact that, given the choice, most people would opt for other food sources over insects. This romanticized view also glosses over the role of economic necessity in shaping these diets, reducing a practical survival strategy into a trend. For centuries, bugs have been consumed in survival situations when traditional food sources are unavailable. Survivalists often turn to insects as fallback options when hunting or foraging doesn't provide enough sustenance. Yet even in these contexts, bugs are rarely seen as long-term solutions. Cultures that include insects in their diets often treat them as supplementary foods, not primary sources of nutrition. The Western push to normalize bug eating as the future of food overlooks this crucial distinction. Bugs are useful in specific situations, but they are far from being universal solutions to food challenges. While the intention behind promoting bug eating is rooted in addressing sustainability and food scarcity, the movement overlooks the complexities of global food practices. Context matters, and the reasons people eat bugs in certain cultures often boil down to necessity rather than preference. Understanding this cultural context is vital before pushing bugs as mainstream solutions. Nutritional balance is another key consideration. Bugs alone don't provide the complete nutrition that humans need. Balanced diets require a range of proteins, fats, and vitamins, which are more easily found in traditional food sources like meat, eggs, and dairy. Finally, Western advocates should avoid cherry-picking practices from other cultures without fully appreciating their significance. Bug eating is not the ideal solution for the world, and pushing it as such disregards the values and preferences of many societies. While bug-eating traditions are fascinating and practical within their specific contexts, they don't offer a one-size-fits-all solution to the world's food challenges. The Western push to adopt insects as the future of food often misinterprets these traditions, failing to recognize the role of necessity and survival in shaping them. Instead of focusing narrowly on insects, we should consider a broader range of sustainable food solutions that respect the cultural realities and nutritional needs of diverse populations. Bugs may have their place, but they are not the universal answer to feeding the world. By looking beyond trends and embracing a more nuanced approach to global food systems, we can create sustainable solutions that truly benefit everyone.